The House of Orange-Nassau are a high-level authority over society and operate as a branch of the Vatican's Roman Empire with influences over the Rand Corporation, Koch Industries, Princeton University, and various banks and investment firms like BlackRock. The House of Orange-Nassau are former Holy Roman and French nobility that currently rule the Netherlands as a constitutional monarchy. King Willem-Alexander is the blood-appointed head of state, and he authorizes laws and is by his laws is defined as inviolable, which means he is not subject to any laws. The Dutch ministers serve the king as his proxy and takes all responsibility. The Dutch royal family are believed to be extremely wealthy with a large amount of shares in Royal Dutch Shell. The term shell is a symbol for Venus in Venice. In Sandro Botticelli's painting The Birth of Venus, the orange-haired Roman deity is depicted being born out of the ocean from a pearl shell. Lucifer is associated with Venus. Venus is depicted in images as an orange planet, and the Venetians worshipped Venus. The Spencer merchant family of London uses the seashell on their coat of arms, with Prince William, who is a Spencer through his mother, and Duke Edward Spencer Churchill as members. Many of the Venetian merchant bankers re-established themselves in London and Amsterdam. The House of Orange-Nassau created the Netherlands Trading Society, and it became ABN AMRO Bank, which has about 480 billion in assets. The Brenninkmeijer family are Dutch billionaire worth about 27 billion, and they own a clothing company and Koffer Holding, which is involved in real estate and banking. Alexander Brenninkmeijer is the head of this family. The Orange-Nassaus have some ancestry from the Venetian Tron family. The Welsleys in the UK are Dutch princes of Waterloo and work closely with the Dutch royals. Charles Wellesley, the 9th Duke of Wellington, has been a director of about a dozen merchant companies in London, and Wellington Management Company, which has 1 trillion in managed assets, was named after the 1st Duke of Wellington. The city of Venice is named after Venus and was a major merchant banking center in Europe for centuries. The Orange-Nassaus have shares in Royal Dutch Shell and also in Royal Philips Electronics, KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, and Holland America Line cruise ships. The reason these companies use the term royal is because they are primarily owned by the royals of the Netherlands. Prince Verso of Orange-Nassau was a former vice president of Goldman Sachs International in London and was a financial officer for Urenco Group, a company involved in uranium enrichment. Prince Verso's widow, Princess Mabel, worked as a director for George Soros Open Society Institute. Prince Constantijn of the Netherlands worked as a consultant for Booz Allen and Hamilton in London and for Rand Corporation in Europe. Rand is a private corporate entity that advises, develops, and plans military operations and weapons systems, including artificial intelligence, which is being used to target people in society. Donald Douglas Sr. was awarded the Commander's Cross of the Order of Orange-Nassau, and his Douglas Aircraft Company created the Rand Corporation. Princeton University was founded by Scottish Protestants and is located in Princeton, New Jersey, which is named Princeton after Prince William of Orange. The founder of Vanguard Group, John Bogle, went to Princeton. Eric Schmidt, who is worth $13 billion and was the former head of Google, went to Princeton. Nassau Hall is the oldest building at Princeton, named after the House of Orange-Nassau. Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, was educated at Princeton and is an agent of the Orange-Nassaus and a military tyrant waging covert war on Americans. The Greef family have been Dutch politicians, bankers, and businessmen. The Graefs produced 4 mayors of Amsterdam and Andries Cornelis Dirk de Graef was Governor-General of the Dutch East Indies and Minister of Foreign Affairs. Dirk Georg de Graef was a director of Royal Dutch Shell and on the board of directors for General Bank Netherlands. The Princeton-educated Robert van de Graaf was an American relative of this family, and he worked with Donald Trump's uncle John Trump. Sebastian Tromp was a Dutch Jesuit. Dirk Jan de Geer was a Dutch noble and Prime Minister of the Netherlands and was found guilty of treason for attempting to make a treaty with the Nazis. Several Dutch noble bloodlines like the Geers established themselves in Sweden. Today Jonas de Geer is a member of the Swedish Party, which is a neo-Nazi political group. Johan de Geer is a Swedish businessman and co-founder of Endurance Capital, which is an investment company operating in Vietnam and is involved in making bribes for human trafficking. Baron Carl Johan de Geer is a Swedish noble and admitted that his grandmother was a Nazi supporter. Louis de Geer was a Dutch businessman who established the Swedish de Geer branch and Swedish Africa Company, which was involved in gold mining. Count Theo van Linten van Sandenberg was a former Prime Minister of the Netherlands during the 19th century. Arnoud van Linten works as a journalist involved with war propaganda. Baron Karel van Linten is a maritime lawyer and involved in laws regarding the financing of shipping and bunkers. Baroness Henriette van Linten-Lijdsten is a Dutch ambassador. Van den Bosch is another Dutch nobility. Count Johannes van den Bosch was director of de Nederlandsche Bank. Ed van den Bosch is the treasurer for Vereniging voor Credit Management. The Van Verschuur family are Dutch Hessian nobles. Otmar Reinhold Rauff Ernst von Verschuur was a Nazi eugenicist who worked at the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute, and his assistant was the sadistic Dr. Joseph Mengele. Otmar's son Helmut von Verschuur has been a high-level member of the European Commission. The Bavarian Dutch nobility merged through several marriages with the Verschuur family. The Verschuurs own the Glory Marienoord estate. The Orange Nassau's established the Netherlands Trading Society, which later established ABN AMRO Bank and ABN AMRO, partly owned Saudi Hollandi Bank of Saudi Arabia. Prince Carlos of Bourbon-Parma, who is a member of the Dutch royal family through his mother Princess Irene of the Netherlands, worked for the ABN AMRO Bank. John Bogle, who originally worked for Wellington Management, created Vanguard Group, which manages over 5 trillion in assets and owns a large amount of shares in Goldman Sachs. The Dreyfus family work with the Orange Nassau's as court factors and moved their Louis Dreyfus Group to the Netherlands. Margarita Louis Dreyfus is the head of the company, and she is with Philip Hildebrand, who formerly ran the Swiss Central Bank and is current vice chairman for BlackRock Investment, which manages about 5.7 trillion in assets. They created Dreyfus Corporation in New York, now part of BNY Mellon. Hubert Dreyfus worked for the Rand Corporation's Artificial Intelligence division, and his brother Stuart Dreyfus also works for Rand. The name Orange comes from the Celtic Principality of Orange in France. The Dutch royal family are Protestants. The Loyal Orange Institute is an Irish Masonic order in Ireland and was created in 1798 to honor the Dutch-born Protestant King William of Orange. King Willem Alexander is the head of the Loyal Orange Order. The Loyal Orange Order uses LOL as an acronym for Loyal Orange Lodge. They use online trolls to harass people by replying to comments like this article, for example, with LOL as form of mockery. They are demented lunatics that mock the truth. The commonly used acronym for laughing out loud is believed to be an Illuminati creation, with the real meaning of Lucifer as our Lord. Lucifer is a Latin term created as an epithet for Vesper. Vesper refers to Venus during the evening. The Orange Nassau's manage and finance Luciferians. Queen Beatrix of the Netherlands is a dame of the Sovereign Military Order of Malta of Rome, and her deceased husband Prince Claus Amsberg was a member of the Nazi Wehrmacht. Prince Bernhard of Lippe-Biesterfeld was the father of Queen Beatrix and a member of the Nazi Party and SS Cavalry. The Koch family with David Koch and Charles Koch originated from the Netherlands, and they are agents that were financed by the Dutch crown. Charles Koch is worth 50 billion. Robert Van Kampen, who died in 1999, founded Van Kampen Investments, which was purchased by Morgan Stanley and later purchased by Invesco. Van Kampen is a Dutch merchant family named after Kampen, Netherlands. Prince Bernhard was involved in organizing the Bilderberg Group along with the Jesuit Joseph Rettinger. The former Jesuit General Peter Hans Kalvenbach was from the Netherlands. Sebastian Tromp was a Dutch Jesuit. The billionaire Steve Feinberg founded Cerberus Capital Management and went to Princeton. Cerberus owns DynCorp, which has been involved in human trafficking, and this is documented. Princeton was founded in honor of the Orange Nassau's. The College of William and Mary was directly created by King William III of Orange. George Washington and Thomas Jefferson both went to William and Mary. The Jesuit Georgetown educated Robert Gates as the Chancellor of William and Mary and former Secretary of Defense. Eric Prince has Dutch ancestry and was born in Holland, Michigan, named after Holland in the Netherlands for its large Dutch population. Eric Prince founded Blackwater, which was involved in murdering civilians in Iraq and trafficking weapons. The Italian-Dutch Prince Jamie of Bourbon-Parma is the nephew of Beatrix and a Knight of Malta and also the Dutch ambassador to the Holy See. Prince Jamie is of the Italian House of Bourbon-Parma and their ancestors established the Jesuits. The Dutch royal family are connected to Catholicism, Protestantism, Nazism, and Jesuitism. King Willem-Alexander is an extremely oppressive tyrant. End of reading.